Hey everyone, and welcome to my journaling ecosystem. These are all the journals and notebooks I use to keep myself sane, organize my thoughts, get out of my head, collect my ideas, and honestly, it's kind of just the manuscript of my life. Everything and anything that goes on in my mind, you can usually find somewhere in one of these journals and/or notebooks. We're going to start with the most important one, my main journal. I have kept a journal that I consider my main journal for a really long time. I would say ever since I was probably 15, so close to 7 years. And in this journal, it's all my thoughts. I have a birthday card in here from one of my friends. It's basically where I brain dump and I put any and all thoughts that I have down on paper. I'll also create little Pinterest mood board collages depending on the time of the month. It's something that I love doing, and I do it with my sisters, I do it by myself, I do it with my friends, but just creating fun little pages to break up everything in the book. I'll write little goal lists, I'll write monthly little recaps, but most of it is just brain dumps and reflecting on what's going on around me. Again, more collages. I love using lined journals. I've always used a lined journal. I tried to keep an unlined journal once and I literally couldn't. I didn't even finish it. Something about the lines just helps me write better. Maybe I'll change it up, and I know everyone's different. I know some people hate lined journals, but personally, it's the only thing I can use. I'll also create little scrapbook collages. This was from a Seattle trip that we did. But this journal is basically where I store all my memories, all my worries, anything that's depressing me or holding me down, I let it out in this journal. All the happy moments, the little things, reflections on the world around me, reflecting on my thoughts or my actions or why I think things or why I do things. I love this journal. Looking back on my main journals that I've had in the past, it's such an introspective look into my life and how I used to think, and it's really cool to compare it to how I think now. So if you don't have a journal, or if you've never thought about journaling, I highly recommend starting a journal or a diary, just a notebook where you can write down your thoughts, because I guarantee you will look back on it and be so grateful that you did. So it kind of goes without saying that this is probably my most important journal out of my whole ecosystem, but my second most important is my notebook. This is my list book, my idea book, my daily to-do list. When I think I need to do something, it goes down in this book, because otherwise I will forget it. This notebook or journal isn't organized in any specific way. Whenever I need to make a list, I make a list. For example, on one side I have outfit ideas, and then the other side I have a to-do list. I have a rough summer bucket list here. I have a list of food I want to make. I have a list of stuff I want to do in June. I have a Friday to-do list. I have a random journal entry. I probably didn't have my main journal, and that's the thing with me. If I need to journal and there's a piece of paper, trust I will be writing on it. I create lists based on the day, so it helps me mentally see how my week looks. If I need to get through a week, this helps me. And again, just simple lists. I don't make my list complicated. I try to do them in chronological order, like this one I started with sunrise, then journal/read, breakfast, and it kind of just goes down in that order. A lot of the time I'll put the day of the week, so that this was Thursday. Here I made a list of what I'm tweaking about. And it really is just lists, to-do lists, what I need to get done, video ideas, planning out videos. So this is definitely my second most important notebook or journal. Next we have my very small little pocket journal, pocket notebook. This is what I carry in my purses a lot because it's what I consider my diary in a sense, my daily observations, my poetry diary in a sense. It's very small entries. I don't write in this as often as I would like. I was doing really good with it and then I kind of fell off and I really need to get back into it. I usually start it by saying Dear Diary, and then I just go off into a little description of usually the world around me, what I can see, what I can smell, what I can taste, little observations. May 23rd. Dear Diary, I'm 20, alone in an airport terminal. Empty iced coffee, crumpled grilled cheese bag, tired, excited, untangled white earbuds. People everywhere, head hurts, I'm 20. Alone in an airport terminal. Blue California skies, borrowed sister's belt, messy purse, contents astray within. Tense, calm, vintage novel to read. I'm 20, alone in an airport terminal. Waiting, can't wait. People rushing by, a professional pilot, teenage girls, baddies. Men in suits, children trying not to get lost. Suitcases by the thousands. So many people. I'm 20, alone in an airport terminal, just existing, no thoughts, nothing is real, but everything is real, except for what's made up. I'm alive. I'm 20, alone in an airport terminal. And then I always end them with xoxo. I don't know why. I do that with a lot of my journal entries. It's just how I end it. So that kind of gives you a taste for how these journal entries run out. I can read another one if you want. This is June 17th. Warm London fog, latte. And then I always end them with xoxo. I don't know why. I do that with a lot of my journal entries. It's just how I end it. So that kind of gives you a taste for how these journal entries run out. So this is really just my writing down anything journal. If I have a thought, if I just need to write, I'll use this one. And I bring it with me, like I said, in my purses, especially my smaller purses, if my big journal doesn't fit. The next journal I have, this is a new addition to my ecosystem. It's a recipe journal. And so in here, I've been writing down all the recipes I've been doing so that I don't forget them. I don't have too much in here yet because, again, I haven't been as consistent as I should be, but I'm definitely going to keep writing in it and keep adding recipes as I keep cooking, mainly because I think it's really fun to have something you can call your own and pass down if you have kids, or just to hold all your favorite recipes in, because who doesn't want to look back on that when they're 80? Like, I'll be able to look back and use these recipes for the rest of time, because unlike an internet tab that you can delete or unsave by accident or lose it in the hundreds of thousands other recipe tabs, this is something physical that I can have on hand and refer to whenever I want. So I've been loving this, and it's something I'm really excited to continue. I'm also just obsessed with this journal. I think it's gorgeous. So I really love that I'm using it for something that I'll cherish forever. Whereas some journals, you look back and you're like, oh, that's kind of cringy. Like, no one can read that. This is something I can have on display and I can cherish forever. And lastly, I have my Notepad. This is also for lists, specifically grocery lists or shopping lists or tiny little to-do lists. And especially just because I can tear it out and bring it with me to the grocery store. So there's really anything too crazy or unique or special about this. I've just loved having a little notepad that I can keep on the kitchen counter, in my car, by my bedside, and I can write down specifically grocery lists, really, or meal ideas, or very quick to-do lists, but then a lot of the time I'll put them into my main list book anyway. But I think having a little notebook like this is just something fun to have. And it's nice to have on hand when you want to make a list that you can tear it out and bring it with you. So that is my journaling ecosystem, how I organize my life and keep myself sane. Comment down below if you journal, and if you do, what your journaling ecosystem looks like, how many journals you have, what they're used for. I think journaling is so cool, and I'd love to hear what you guys do if you journal. But anyways, I will see you next time. Bye.